Peace and blessings, family. Sister Rosalie. I can't say I'm being more patient with trolls because I don't bother ordinarily, and but I've been feeling really good lately. My exercise routine is is sharp, and my eating, I have to do that in a whole nother share, but I've been feeling good. So this particular person, it just was saying stuff that I was wondering, well, maybe this is somebody who's just trying to be sarcastic in a amusing sort of fashion. And so I was tolerant because he didn't come out aggressive straight off the bat. But he asked an interesting question in a rude manner, because he's like, well, why don't you give your remedies away if you really have them? And so that was the rudeness, as if I would get up here and lie to you, family, about just the amount of knowledge that I've gained from reading. I just bought 2 books over, which is Rosalie Bertel's No Immediate Danger. She meant that sarcastically. And the one that I'm just about done with, The Crime of Chernobyl, the Nuclear Gulag. And this one has got massive amounts of tabs in it because the data is extraordinary. I had never researched Chernobyl before, and I'm glad that I read this book as opposed to doing a superficial Google search, because the lies are prevalent where you are not going to get the truth whatsoever. The internet is just controlled. Now, our responses aren't controlled. That's why I've done what I've done. Let me go get it too. Furnace of affliction. Healing radiation damage to the human body. This even has guidance on how to get radiation out of your environment, our entire environment, especially if you have a garden. How to grow food that will be the least radioactively contaminated, because Fukushima and all things man-made radiation have slathered our planet. That's why they have the chemtrail planes, because it winds up heating up the environment. That's why our weather patterns are changing. And in reading what I have, and this is what I'm doing, is massive research right now to finish all the books that I've read. I've read about a dozen of them so far, but at this point in time I have about maybe 40 books specifically on radiation, written from the standpoint of those whose voices have been hidden. I mean nuclear physicists, not just housewives. But this housewife at this point in time, I could give any nuclear physicist a run for his government-funded money. And that's my point, because why don't I just give the remedies away? You know what? For a good, I don't know, maybe 5 years, I did. And I was hoping that our people, my people, would understand what I'm doing enough that you would have donated to help me continue to do this research. That's why when it comes to Dr. Z, he's the reason why I'm doing what I do. Anybody else would have been like, yo, chick, you got to go out and get yourself a job. But he sees the truth in what I'm sharing, the importance in what I'm sharing. And so he's been tolerant. But, I make the soap now so that I can pad my almost invisible income. But there's other reasons for me to put the data in a book. This is here forever, because I'm the only black person on the entire planet doing the in-depth research that I do. And they've shadow banned my presence on social media so that our nature to be just want to be where the popular thing is going on, we have a tendency to give that authority. Whereas with my voice, they even had to get rid of my 25K channel because that gave me too much authority once I started writing and reading the actual data. That's when they were like, oh, okay, she's not just coming up here as some ditzy housewife who has, no understanding of what she's sharing. And thus, they had to nullify my presence up here. But they can't nullify what I wrote. This is here for our children and our children after that, if we manage to reach that point, because what I've read proves that they have a category on Google. Chocolate will be extinct by the year 2040. They don't mean chocolate, the plant, right? They don't mean cacao. I've never heard of anything where there's a plant that goes extinct suddenly because, especially in this time and age, especially a product as popular as chocolate is. What they mean is they mean black you and me. And they've been achieving that through the CMOS, through the radioactive rice, and now they're shipping in all Fukushima food. And so to see and discover venues, specific venues targeted at Black us that aligns completely with what Robert Oppenheimer said, which is we will be able to exterminate 500,000 men as soon as we could target through food 1,000,000 men. And he was talking about using radiation, no mother of bombs. These are things that because I've been watching and looking carefully. This is about more than just our beloved ancestor Marvin Gaye singing one song. Radiation underground and in the sea. We need more than that. We need somebody researching. Right? And so because of that, I'm the one who found out about Japan shipping free rice to only Black nations. Right? Other people have come and said to me about the CMOS. That's true. But I look and because my presence is here, there's at least one space where we can come and talk about what's going on with us and our beautiful planet. That is mighty to provide that. And I'm supposed to just give that away? How am I going to build up to where I could test our food? That'll never happen. Because most of us are beguiled by Satan. Most of us are going to look at what's the latest headline and we are going to just run for it. And when you see a person who, nobody's talking about her. I'm like, you know what? At this point in time, I'm good with that. I'm not here for my own popularity. If I was, then I would change my subject matter, wouldn't I? I'm here for you. So this is actually a rescue that reverberates upwards. Because when I was giving it away, nobody donated. Nobody donated. Very few at this point in time purchased the book that's going to save their lives, their families' lives, their neighbors, only the people you like, okay? That is not the case, so I make the soap now. I stopped making the soap for a little while because I had to streamline what I did. Now I have. So when you order the soap, you get the soap like within days. I've got to build. That's what civilization is about. Civilization isn't about living in, cave and never venturing out because it's just too much. No, you got to plan and strategize in civilization. You got to offer a structure that's solid. And that's what I'm doing. Because I'm not just looking at this 1 second. I'm looking at forever. Forever. because that radiation, that stuff's going to last for upwards of 450 billion years. And I know that because I've done the research, right? So Rosalie Bertel, I bought her book out specifically because she said the scientists who keep saying they're befuddled, they're mystified, hell no, they're not. They will not speak truthfully about what radiation does because, first off, the IAEA and the World Health Organization specifically picks out those scientists who are going to be cooperative. I was stunned. I went and I left a just celebratory review for the Crime of Chernobyl. I was stunned to find out that this book, which was published in 2006, I think, and they did a revise, I think, a little bit, but there isn't a single review for it. I was the first. I was like in shock. And so, for this book not to be heralded in any way, shape, or form, and this is a white dude, what? Black me? I'm expecting to be marginalized off to the side, but I'm still, even in my just small one-person battle, I'm providing plans and providing warnings that still save your life. Because who told you about the radioactive rice? Who's told you about the FDA allowing all radiation food from Fukushima in? And they don't really have to do that. They just want to speed up the process of all of us dropping dead. And you know they're sending that to the black community. Not a word from anybody but me. Right? That's because I stay working on this. If one day I'm homeless or something, I'm not saying I'm gonna be, but I ain't got an income to provide for myself. I'm just saying, I will feel so proud of the work that I've done on your behalf. No matter what. You don't do this and you fool yourself into thinking you're talking about baking cookies or something. Heck no. Right? And so Rosalie Bertel, she said, these scientists, they won't say a word because the people who expect the scientists to be working on their behalf don't realize that they ain't sending them scientists any money. And so the one scientist, I'll put myself in that category, who is working on your behalf, needs your help, always. Go to 25,000 year cycle. This is not an advertisement. It's a rescue. Because all these dudes in the Western trained social structure, medical structure, scientific structure, they don't give a god dang about you. But we do. I almost forgot too. When you go to the doctor, do you ask him, "Oh, doc, I got this problem. Can this be for free?" No, that ain't happening because of the time that person has spent gaining the knowledge so that you trust their diagnoses, their treatment. You give respect to that individual because you know you don't have the time to do that. You've been busy living the life you need to live for you. And so that's how civilization works. You have different specialists in different areas that create a society that can work together. Well, we have devils in charge who are killing us with radiation. You need this expert working tirelessly for our forever. Nobody who bought Furnace of Affliction, not a single person, has done an expose stating that there's no remedies in it whatsoever, because that would be a lie. Straight, black, family pride, and we stand the best chance of anybody of getting out of this hell forever. Peace and blessings. I love you.